Hey everyone, this week's video is about suicide, and more specifically, how do we create a safety plan to prevent it? So stay tuned. So like I said, this week's video topic is about suicide and creating a safety plan. But before I even get into that, I want to talk a little bit about suicide as a whole. And I know many of you have told me you've either had a friend who's tried to commit suicide or has committed suicide, you've had a family member who has done that, or you yourself struggle with these thoughts of suicide and what we in the therapy land called suicidal ideation. Like we think about it and we ruminate about it. And the thing that I always remind my clients about this topic specifically is those thoughts and feelings are normal. People have that when we're depressed, when we're anxious, when we're struggling with something that's really difficult for us. We may have thoughts of suicide, and not necessarily serious thoughts like I'm going to do this now, but we may think, you know, this would be easier if I wasn't here. If I just ended it all, I wouldn't have to fight this, and blah, you know, we have those thoughts. And I know this sounds bad, but that's normal, okay? So we will have those thoughts, but what also is normal is that those thoughts go away. If we give them enough time, if we work on it, if we have a safety plan in place, those thoughts will go away, okay? So this is something we can fight through. We can succeed. I don't want any of you to hurt yourself. I want you all living. I want you all breathing. I want you all having the adventurous, wonderful life that you deserve, okay? So that's why I've created all these videos and stuff, is so we can help ourselves, okay? And when I was doing research on creating safety plans, because I have one that I do in my office, but everybody's different, right? And everybody has different things. So I looked it up, and there are a lot of templates online. So you can actually Google safety plan templates. Boom, you've got some easy fill-in PDFs you can just print out and fill it in, okay? So the first thing that I do with my clients when we're talking about a safety plan is keeping them safe. Is your environment safe? Is there something that you plan on hurting yourself with? Are you stocking up on your pills and not taking them like you're supposed to? Does it make you nervous to have a full month's prescription hanging out in your house? We might want to give that to someone else for safekeeping and have them ration things for us. Or if it's a knife, or if it's a gun, or if it's who knows what your thoughts are, we may want to not have that around, right? So I'll always barter with my clients about this, like, hey, what if you brought that in and I kept it for a week and I'll give it back to you next week? How would that feel? You know, would you be willing to do that? So that's number one on my list. Then the second thing is noticing the warning signs. Now this is something that we can actually help one another with, and if you want to leave comments below on how you notice when you're feeling suicidal and when you feel the emotions and the thoughts about that building up, how do you notice that? What are your key, your key cues and things that you aren't doing or are doing? So we can all share in the insight, and we can help one another so we can nip it in the bud before, it gets out of control. So that's the second thing, and that is noticing. Now, the most important part about this with my clients is I want it to be in your language. Like, take your journal out or take that template you found online, and I want you to write it in your words. Like, I find that I sleep until noon, and I watch a sad TV show like Grey's Anatomy or something. I was just talking with Cara about this, how it's kind of a sad show. So if you watch something that's kind of triggering to your suicidal ideation, your depression, or whatever it is, right? I might start canceling plans. I might not do my homework. What is it? Or do you feel things like I feel really anxious and I get sweaty, or I feel really lethargic and I ache, or what is it? So kind of pay attention to that and start putting it in your own language and your own responses. And that's why I think sharing will really help, because we might not recognize it as something like that and that it's tied to that. But if somebody else says it, we're like, yeah, I do that too. And I think that's what's really powerful about our community, is that we share a lot of similarities and we can really help one another. So that's the second part, okay? So we have making sure your environment is safe and noticing when it's creeping up. And then the other thing is creating a kind of call list or a support list of friends and family who can help you, okay? So we need personal connection. So whether it's our best friend at school, it's our school counselor, it's our boyfriend, it's our girlfriend, it's our mom, it's our dad, it's our brother, our sister, whoever it is. Make a list of those people with their numbers or emails or how you would best like to contact them. And we should go through, I always tell my clients, I want you going through that whole list before, anything else. But at least contact 5 people before you give up, okay? That's what, the more we can contact, the better. And I know we're scared and we don't want to talk about it. But even if you just reach out and say, hey, I just really could use a friend to talk to. I just need to vent. We don't have to tell them exactly what's going on, but just sometimes talking and getting those emotions out can feel, so much better, right? Okay, so we have 3 things so far, right? We have made sure our environment is safe. We've either given away something that we're gonna use. We have noticed and been writing down the triggers and things that we notice changing when our suicide ideation goes up and our depression gets worse. And we made a list of friends and family that we can reach out to. Now the next step number 4, is professionals. So that would be, if I was your therapist, you would put me down. I would definitely put down our community and my website and YouTube and Twitter. You can reach out there easily, and I hear from lots of you, and that's amazing. It's wonderful that you're reaching out because that's another nice outlet, and that's part of why I created this whole community, right? So that can be a suicidal hotline. Every country has one. I know they do. I don't know all of the numbers, but you can just Google suicide hotline UK or suicide hotline, Germany or wherever you are, and it will tell you. And I also would put down your local hospitals because you can just take yourself there and you can go in and just say, I'm having a hard time. I have a lot of clients who've done that and they get a really good response. So any professionals, that's what we're gonna do, okay? After our friends and family, then we'll think about our professionals. So those are the things that I go through with my clients when I'm creating a suicide safety plan. And we need to make sure that this list feels authentic to us because we're all different, we're all unique, we all struggle with different things. Even though we may have some similarities, there's always those differences. And I mean, I always tell a lot of you, I like to color when I feel stressed out. I also like to watch Love It or List It a lot. I don't know why. So we all have different things that feel good to us, right? And we all have those little things we do and when we're having a bad day, and we need to take time to realize that and to write it down and to use it. Because this is what's going to save us when we feel like we can't get out and we're in this dark hole, right? So like I said, leave your comments below. How do you notice when these suicidal thoughts are just getting worse? And even what do you do? Along with how do you notice, what do you do? Because the more we help one another, the more powerful our community is and the more we grow. And if you like these topics, if you want me to keep talking about suicide, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And I still have my free workbook on my website. I'm in the works to get other things out. I know that many of you have requested that. And don't worry, I always listen. I always make notes. So I'll make sure to get through that. And just keep working with me. Keep fighting those negative voices trying to pull us down. And we'll work towards a healthy mind and a healthy body. Oh, and it just occurred to me also, I know many of you have reached out to me and said, Kati, I just can't call a suicide hotline. Makes me so nervous, right? And we don't want to do it. But I want you all to know, and I've actually had a friend who was on call with the suicide hotline because that's really what it is. They're on call. So they have to make themselves available for certain chunks of time so that when you call, you get somebody every time. And they are trained professionals. They are people just like me, people who are passionate about what they do, and they actually sign up to do that and take those chunks of time because they want to help. It's usually a volunteer position. You don't get paid to do it. So it's people who actually care and want to support us. And in the last, I've been doing this now for almost a year and a half. And in the last 6 months or so, I've heard from a lot of you that you've called in. You were really nervous to call, and then you got connected with somebody and they were so warm and so nice and they were wonderful and they talked you through it. And some of them even spent hours on the phone with you until you felt better and all was calm again. Like I said, the thoughts and those feelings pass. So please don't be scared. I know that we always get nervous to reach out, but these people are there to help and they're there to get us through this tough time. So go ahead and do it. And if you've had a good experience and you want to share, let us know too.